Hi Stampers, this is Judi Anderson with JudiStamps.com. Welcome to my second video on this week's Progressive Project number 3. We are making an Easter basket this week, and today we're doing one of my favorite techniques. We're going to be doing some watercoloring. Normally I don't go through the stamping of the images and all the watercoloring, but some of you have been asking me how I do my watercoloring because you like the effects that I'm getting, so I thought I'd show you today. Start off with where you need to use the Extra Spectacular stamp set here, and we are going to be using the little U with the phrase "thinking of you at Easter." I've already taken that out, and here it is mounted on my clear block. Your StazOn jet black ink and a piece of white cardstock, your aqua painter, and then we're going to be using our Signo gel white pen a little bit later. So first of all, we're going to stamp our image, and we will also need our wide oval punch, which I have on the side here. We're just going to ink it up, and ink it up really good. And you know that when you go to ink your stamps, you want to tap, tap, tap. You don't want to rub. And just even pressure down and up. And it doesn't matter if you stamp straight on your Whisper white cardstock, because we are going to be punching that out. I'm going to put those to the side, and I am going to get my 2013-2015 in color markers, because that's what we're going to use to watercolor these with. And for a palette, I'm going to use the back of my ink pad, and I'm going to get out these colors. Going to get them all out because we are going to eventually use all of them. I'm going to start out with my Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to take the brush tip marker and just put a little bit on here. And you know what? I think I'm going to flip this over, wipe this off on my apron. I normally don't do that. I'm going to do it on this side so that you can see the ink show up. There's the ink there. You need very little. I'm going to make sure my aqua painter's got water in it. And the technique that I use is called side loading. I used to do painting and wood crafts, and I'm self-taught in painting as well as stamping. I'm going to turn this little guy upside down. I am going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see this. And I'm going to have to remember to zoom out a little bit later. I'm going to go this way with this so that you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush, and I'm going to put it to the side of the ink, put my tip down, press down so the brush widens, and I'm going to just drag it on the side of the ink. Okay, you don't want to push it through the middle, just the side. So we're only loading the side of our brush. I'm going to take it, and when I do this, I push down on my brush so it widens, and what it's going to do is the tip with the color will be along the side of the image that I'm going to color against where I want the color the darkest. And right now we're going to be creating a little bit of a shadow behind our U so that it looks like he's standing out of the background a little bit. So I'm pressing down and rub it around just like that. That's how quick it is. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit more color, side loading again, and starting at the top and just going around. Now I do want a little bit of color underneath his little behind here, so I'm going to just color it in a little bit there also. Okay, I'm just going to wipe my brush off a little bit, and the next color I'm going to use is my Crisp Cantaloupe. Once again, get this into the view. Just rub a little bit of ink onto my palette, pick it up. Now on this it doesn't really matter if you side load because I'm just going to go across the center just like that. I'm going to pick up some of my Strawberry Slush. Now, with the Strawberry Slush, I want very little color. We're going to use this as his cheeks. So what I'm going to do is, instead of side loading, I'm actually going to take the tip of my brush and I'm going to side load and kind of push it into the color and wipe it out here a little bit to bleed that color in the brush a little bit. So once again, pick up some color and bleed it out. And I'm just going to put two little cheeks underneath his eyes where his cheeks would be. And that's because I don't want his cheeks to stand out like he ran a marathon this morning and is all blushed. Now for the rest of this, I am going to use the Stampin' Write markers right out of the marker. And I am going to use the brush tip for these, I'm going to color the basket. And as you can see, I do it very quickly. I don't concentrate a lot on staying inside the lines. And when I do this, I start with my darkest color first. I'm sorry, my lightest color first, and then going to the darkest. Also, when you take a look at these eggs, you will notice that one has some polka dots on it and the other one is striped. Don't worry about that, guys. You're not going to notice that when it's all done. If you want to spend some time on that, you can. Okay, now all that coloring's done. Now I want to make, it seems like he's floating in air right now, so I want to make a little bit of a ground or underneath him to ground him. So once again, I'm going to take my brush. I'm taking the baked brown sugar. Here we go. And I'm going to side load it again, just sweeping down the side, and just a little bit of ground there. Sweep inside. Now I want some parts a little bit darker, so those parts I'm going to go over again because the ground isn't perfect. Okay, now that's it for watercoloring him. I'm going to take my wide oval punch, center him in it, just like that, making sure he's straight, and this is where you want to make sure your image is straight. Let me kind of take a look here. It's kind of hard in the camera. And here we go. He's straight there. Okay, I'm going to move my pens out of the way, and we're going to take our oval scallop that we made out of our scalloped oval circle. Put a couple dots on him just to hold him down, and remember, you don't need much. I kind of spread it out a little bit so I know that when I squish it onto my matting that it's not going to squish out over the edges. Just going to make sure that that's centered on there. Press it down. Now you're going to take your Siglo white gel pen and make sure that it's writing. And all we're going to do is some little dots around on the scallops, just real quick. Okay, just like this. I love our Signo white gel pen. It's the best gel pen around, guys. You just dab it and you get the white lines. I had bought some other brands and I'd sit there and either they'd run out right away or it was impossible to get the white lines just that easily. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that. A guy here, let me move it to the camera so you can zoom in. So that's our element for today. Have a good day, and until tomorrow, happy stamping.